All right, hey everyone. This is my first video on just my trading journey, and I got inspired by JBS of the One Option community and RealDayTrading, and this is just for keeping myself accountable as kind of like a daily journal of the market and see how much I improve with trading. And okay, so let's go into it. I'm first going to be reviewing my stock picks, and each video would be reviewing the last stock pick. This is in the form of JBS's videos and also Pete's videos. And so let's just review the stock picks I'm currently in. And so I'm currently in U, and I am shorted. And the reason I'm shorted is because as the market has been going up, U has been consistently going down. And I thought it would be a good swing trade and a good entry last Friday on the 21st because the market wasn't really doing anything. As you can see, a doji formed and it kind of was just chopping around and super volatile, probably because triple witching was occurring. And so I just thought it was a good swing trade to enter because there wasn't really any green candles in this whole entire trend down. And so I'm like, it might be a good entry point since it was up for the day. For my game plan for this stock is, let me bring it up. Okay. So I was shorted at $15.66. It's currently at $15.97. So I am currently down, but I'm not going to worry. And my target, I'm just trading by the way, I'm just trading one share. I'm in the one share journey. And so my target for the stock my profit target for the stock is around $15, which is around 1 ATR on my entry price. And my exit for a loss is around $17, $17.10-ish. And that is just around the halfway point of this red key bar. So if I see you being able to get above there, I will know that the relative weakness is not as weak as I thought it was, and I'll exit for a loss. So as I said on Friday, it was trending up when the market was doing really nothing. And as a day trade, this has not been a good day trade, but I am taking it as a swing, so I wanted to pull back on the D1 chart, and I got it, and I thought it was a good entry point for it. Okay. And by the way, these stops are not hard stops; they're mental stops, and I'm going to assess what the market is doing during these stops. So just always market context first. My next stock I went was NVIDIA. I think just overall, this stock has been grinding higher consistently, and just stacked green candles, and especially after it just seems to be strong compared to the market, as the market is kind of a little patchy here. This stock just seems to be going higher no matter what. And so I thought it was a good entry point because it was also down for the day, and on the D1 chart it kind of is dipping a little bit, so I thought it was a good entry point to get long. So I'm long NVIDIA at $126.90, and my profit target is around $132, which is 1 ATR. And so So my profit target is just around here, $132 about, and my plan is I'll take gains if I see strength stall at the high of 621. So on Friday, if it stalls at this high, so this high of 130.63, I'll take gains on it if I see it stall, because it's just around the opening of the June 20th candle. So I'll take gains around here if I see it kind of compressing and not showing as much strength. But my long-term profit target is $132, which is, again, 1 ATR. And also my exit plan for a loss would be around AVWAP-E. So I'll take a loss if NVIDIA is able to get to AVWAP-E. I just think if it dips that low on a D1 chart, it's kind of lost its strong uptrend, and it just wouldn't be worth holding any longer. And again, this is just one share practicing, and I could just be totally not right on this stock, but I believe this is a good entry point for this longer term uptrend. But I just definitely don't want to discount this red key bar because it signifies heavy selling, and just I need to be aware of that. So yeah, back to those were my two picks, and those are my two picks on what I'm currently in. And for future videos, I'll be giving picks. I'll be giving picks for this video, and in future videos, which will be tomorrow, I'll see how the stock is doing, and just so it would just be a pick and then a video. But currently, I'm just in those two stocks. Okay, so now I'm going to go on to a market analysis, and I'm going to start with the longer-term D1 chart of SPY. So as we can see, SPY has been in a very strong bullish trend. It saw a little bit of selling pressure starting with this key bar on April 4th, followed by a pretty strong downtrend for a couple days. So about 15 days, 2 weeks-ish. It was able to break through the 50 SMA pretty easily with this red key bar, and it looked like it was about to challenge the 100 SMA, but didn't even touch it, and buyers came and supported it, and it came back up and kind of chopped around for a couple days, for about a little longer than a week, and then it started to go back up. On a shorter term D1 basis, I think after the CPI came out good, the market gapped up, and it's been able to hold these gains, and that's a clear sign of support in my opinion. And this key bar, I think, is the sign of support. So if SPY is able to break this key bar, it could be a sign of a dip incoming. But overall, I'm neutral on the market and slightly bearish. I mean, slightly bullish, but basically neutral because there's not too much news. We're basically in a news vacuum for the next couple weeks, so I don't expect SPY to be moving too much. It was able to. This key bar is pretty surprising to me. I was expecting it more to chop around after the CPI. So this key bar was pretty surprising to me. But it was basically reversed with this red key bar. and I'm expecting it just to chop around, and but I'm also prepared for a dip, especially if this support line gets breached. Okay, let's go to intraday for Friday on the 21st. So as I said, SPY, this was triple witching day. SPY was very volatile. It basically closed where it opened, so basically no movement. That's why on the D1 basis, Doji was formed. But yeah, it was just very choppy and low probability trading environment. That's why I have currently 2 swing positions on. One long, one short of a relative weak stock and a relative strong stock, because I want to be balanced, and I want to be balanced with my portfolio. So I wanted both a long stock and a short stock. Because again, I'm thinking we're going to be chopping around, and these stocks hopefully will continue with their relative strength and relative weakness. And yeah. So now I'm going to be giving my new picks for this week / for tomorrow's open. And so we can first start bullish, because I have a overall neutral but slightly bullish bias for the market. So let's start with the green royal flush scanner, and let's look at these charts. I also bring up my watch list of relative strength stocks that I've just been searching for throughout last week. Google, in my opinion, looks okay. I mean, it has obviously relative strength or strength in general, but I wouldn't take it as a long until it breaches this high plus trend line, because as you can see, it's just provided resistance every single time it's touched it, and it basically touched it on the 21st and didn't breach it. So I'd definitely not go long on this until I would definitely not swing it on the long side until it breaches this horizontal, this high plus trend line. I would day trade it, but again, it's been kind of compressing, just choppy since like late May, so it doesn't look the greatest to me. Home Depot, it just broke its 100 SMA, which is bullish, but it's still kind of compressing here. It's not a very strong breach, so I wouldn't go long on it on a swing basis, and I wouldn't say it has very much relative strength. It's kind of choppy, gappy. So I wouldn't even consider going long on this until it breaches a high of the June 18th candle, and I would want to see longer green candles with stronger volume. Even though volume's been good, the candle's not really going anywhere. I mean, you can see how long the tails and wicks are for these candles. It's definitely sellers and buyers are kind of fighting. And currently buyers are winning, but very slightly. MasterCard MA. So just breached the 50 SMA on pretty heavy volume. It's been stacking green candles, but again, this stock is kind of choppy. I mean, had a pretty strong downtrend in late March to early May, and then just kind of been chopping around since then. So, I mean, it was able to break the 50 SMA with decent strength and volume, but I still would not go long on the stock until potentially it broke the 100 SMA and in this high minus trend line. So I'm actually gonna I'm actually going to set an alert on these. So I have an alert on this trend line, and then I'm gonna create a SMA. So when the stock crosses above the 100 SMA. Okay. So, all right. So alert set. I've noticed setting alerts is super helpful to me. I learned it from all the pro traders, especially Spectre. He's really shown me how important alerts are. And so I set them all the time. I try to set them as much as possible for really any scenario because I'll just be notified. Okay, moving on. Nike breached its 100 SMA with pretty good volume, pretty heavy volume. Its earnings come out next. What is it next? 27 next Thursday. So really doesn't have too much time until its earnings announcements. And as I learned in real day trading in the system, never hold it over earnings. You can hold it before, you can hold it after, but never during. So not too much time until earnings. So that's a factor to consider. I also wouldn't take it until it breaches this high minus trend line, just because it's had resistance there before, here and here. So I'm actually going to set an alert. Oh, so we breached it. So I'm just going to set an alert then on right here. So if it's able to like really breach this trend line like strongly, I don't know. I would have to see it breach all these horizontal resistances in order to potentially go long. But then it has its 200 SMA close by. So really, I'm actually going to set an alert when it breaches its 200 SMA as well. So really, I wouldn't be going long on the stock until it breaches its 200 SMA, and then it has some, looks like horizontal resistance around the like 106 level, 107 level, around there, and then it enters the gap from earnings, from last earnings, or no, from not the last earnings, but from earnings in late December. I would go long this when it enters this gap. I mean, it has a pretty substantial gap. It could potentially fill. I mean, what is that? $10, $11 about, which gives a good opportunity to it's a pretty good void to potentially go long on. BILI. This stock is kind of patchy, I notice, and it gaps up and gaps down very frequently. But it did just breach a high plus trend line with very heavy volume since this key bar. Earnings aren't for a while. So the stock looks okay. I mean, it's not, I don't like how choppy it is, but I don't know, it's not horrible. It's just, I wouldn't necessarily take it in my stage right now because of how choppy it is and how kind of volatile or how like patchy it is. So I wouldn't take this. Schwab is nothing really kind of stands out to me here as a good long. So MMM, I mean, this stock is doesn't really like, it's kind of after this drop, it's been kind of just compressing here. So I wouldn't go long on it until it at least breaches this trend line. And just in general, I wouldn't really go long on it because it just, until it breaches this all-time high, I think it's this all-time high. Let's see. Oh, no, it's not. It's relative high. I wouldn't consider going long. But in general, this stock doesn't really stand out to me as a good long. This stock is a big key bar. This stock doesn't look good to me. AT&T set an alert here. I wouldn't attempt going long on this until it breaches this trend line. NU. No, it's kind of just compressing, choppy. So not really anything in green row flush. Heavy buy. I'm just gonna scan through these stocks real quick. No. Microsoft looks pretty good. It's been strong. Doesn't have earnings for a month. It's been it's not able to get through this high on the 17th at 450.94. So if it is able to break that with pretty strong strength, I would potentially go long on it. But right now in my journey, this isn't a stock that I would go long at this moment. So yeah. Amazon. This actually is not too bad. How long? 191.51. So it's like $2 to fill. Just broke this high minus trend line. Amazon doesn't look too bad. High volume. Let's see what it does in the M5. So overall, Amazon looks decent. I mean, you would only have the void is only like $2, but until it hits horizontal resistance, so that's something you have to consider. It's also been kind of choppy around here, but this is a pretty good sign it's able to break out through this high minus trend line. So this is something I definitely would consider. Yeah, so let me just go through the rest. No. All right, I'm going to come back after I find something because I'm not really seeing anything on the long side. But if I don't find anything on the long side, I will come back and we can search the bearish side. All right. I think the best pick of song was in my relative strength daily watch list. And it's SE. The strength is really strong, stacked green candles. It on the day on the 20th or SPY resulted in a red key bar. SE was able to hold its own and actually formed a bullish hammer. On Friday on the 21st, it was just kind of it kind of just dripping down, and nothing crazy. I mean, there's some key bars here, but it wasn't able to take out this green bar, or really the low of the 20th. So I don't know. I think this is actually a pretty good entry point for SE. This strength isn't just going to go away. It's going to stay, and unless the market totally, there's a huge dip for the market, I believe this relative strength is going to stay and come back in the stock. So I see this more as a buying dip. So yeah, my pick for, let's make a watch list. YouTube pick. YouTube picks. Okay, let's put SE in there. Okay, SE is my pick of the day for the bullish side. Let's see if there's any more bearish. I've been noticing, as Pete said this as well, that the bearish side has been more noticeably strong, or the stocks have just been like stacked red candles instead of choppy like a lot of bullish stocks are. So let's look at some of my relative weak daily. Let's see, Sedge has been pretty weak. The earnings, not too close. Sedge is decent. This is a pretty decent sized gap. So it could potentially try to fill that a little bit, but overall it's been pretty weak. So this is definitely a pretty weak stock. EQT is pretty weak. I mean, how much space does it have to go down? So 37 to about where this compression is, about $1. Isn't horrible, but it also is kind of choppy in general. And so, I mean, this selling has been super strong, but it's not, personally doesn't fit into what I've been looking for. Yeah, so bid you. This is pretty good stock as well. Definitely relatively weak. I like this stock. ALB is decent. I think overall, I'm gonna search through Red Road Flush a little more, and I'll be back with my pick. Okay, I looked through all this, and I've decided to go with BIDU. This is selling since, what was it, 17th of May. Has been super strong. It's able to breach the low minus trend line with relative ease. Let's see. I marked some potential support lines. So, yeah, this would be my bearish pick for today. But what I've learned from listening to JBS's video and reading his real day trading posts on the subreddit is that, what if you had only one bullet? You can only choose one stock for the day. So for me, between these two, I would personally choose. So I would personally go with